Hey everybody, thank you for joining me once again. Um, just going to be on here very briefly. Just wanted to um, talk a little bit about a water shortage. They're saying that there is some water shortages that are expected to be coming up, and I thought, well, how can there be water shortages? There is an abundance of water in earth, but of course, not all of that is available um, or right for us to consume or to even to use to bathe or whatever. We also know that there are some places, even still in the United States, um, where there's water that has been contaminated, and people are having to use bottled water for everyday situations. This part of the reason that I really enjoy having my Berkey. I just have this travel size Berkey, but for me alone, that's good enough. But and I'm not being endorsed by Berkey or anyone. And I'll just say it right now. Nothing that I'm saying here should be construed as medical information, um, financial counseling, or any kind of legal information or counseling. This is just me sharing my experiences with you and sharing some advice for some ways that people can prepare for what's very close on the horizon and in some places is already there and obvious. I do have the Berkey water filter. I really appreciate having that and I enjoy it and I enjoy the quality of water and the freshness of the taste. And although, that initial price kind of can give you a little sticker shock when you have to pay for it, it really is worth it in the long run for the amount of time that having that product is available and is good for you. We also have, the ongoing situations where the food is there's shortages in some areas and then there's an influx of prices and items and availability going up and down. There's still that issue with pet foods in the area that I live in, as well as some other regular staples and things that you would see on the food shelves. There's supposed to be a coming oil shortage, such as cooking oil. So I'm not sure where that's from or why would we need cooking oil from other places, but regardless of how much you use oil, um, if you use it at all and any amount, it might be good to just like get an extra bottle or container if you like that lard or whatever. So just something to keep in mind and prepare for. While, going to the store nowadays is just gives you sticker shock, just like going to the gas station can give you sticker shock. We still have to be proactive, and it's not too late to prepare until there's nothing available to prepare with. Um, the governments have already talked about the wisdom of being prepared for a certain amount of weeks. I believe they said either 2 or 3 weeks. Other nations outside of the United States of America are informing their people to be prepared for 2 weeks or more. So I don't know what's on the horizon in that area, but as I've said in previous videos, if you hear the bell going ding, 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 and you're approaching the railroad tracks and you see the arm going down and the lights are flashing, you're being alerted that something is up and something is on the way, and you need to be careful and you need to be prepared. So, this is a time to use wisdom, and using wisdom means being prepared for yourself and for those you care about. I'm just going to go over a few things really quickly that you can do to be prepared. And I apologize if this seems like a repeat for some people, but some people may be new. Um, and it's probably showing up backwards on your screen because it looks backwards on the camera to me. But my t-shirt says better together. We work better together as a community. You know, if you want to be like a lone wolf and handle everything by yourself and not allow anyone into your life or to help you in situations, it makes things kind of tough. But really, get to know your community. Get to know who's around you. It, you work better together, especially if you know who's around you and you're able to be supportive of each other in one way or another. And I'm not saying go and give away all your money or your this or your that, but sometimes in some communities, there may be an elder person who is home alone and may not have the resources or even have someone to say, hey, can someone help me bring in my groceries or whatever if they've ordered them online? That's just for example. So working better together, it can help increase a sense of perceived safety in the community. It can increase your safety too. Really, if you're really all putting your heads together and thinking about things and saying, I see this going on over there. What can we do to change things to have a safer community where we are? Okay, backtrack. I'm going to go through this list of these few things that you can do to help build up your supplies, and you can organize it in your kitchen or your cupboards or whatever. Um, just try to be safe in all that you do. Try not to have things be where it's just a stockpile of mess on the floor. I mean, you can do that if you want to. It's not going to be very safe. And then when you trip and fall, then it's not going to be of a benefit to you because you're not going to be able to even access it. So, number one on my list, anyway, seeds. You know, I try to get what packages of seeds I can at the Dollar Tree and Family Dollar or at the hardware store. You know, seeds tend to cost a little bit more at the hardware store. You could be paying $2 or $3 for one little packet of seeds at the hardware store. Some of the Dollar Trees will sell seeds, which I did a video on this before, 4 packages for $1. No, they may not be heirloom seeds, but when you're hungry, is your stomach going to be complaining about heirloom seeds, or is your stomach going to be pleased that you have something to eat because you prepared in advance and you have some seeds and were able to grow some things? Just saying. So, but these are, you know, I have a culinary herb collection. These seeds I got off of Amazon, and no, I have no Amazon affiliate link or anything like that. I don't know how to do all that kind of stuff. I'm just letting you know. You can go on there, you can look it up. You can look up a variety of brands and you can order seeds. And these are through the Sustainable Seed Company. But I do, like I said, I'll go to the hardware store. I will go to the Dollar Tree. I will go to the Dollar General. I will go to the Family Dollar. I will go to Target. I will go to Lowe's. I will go Walmart, wherever there's some available, and look for things that I like to eat and things that are easy to grow. Because although it works really well for some people who have a house and they have a yard, they got a front yard, backyard, and all that, if you're living in a situation where you have a neighbor above, a neighbor below, a neighbor next door, whether it be a townhouse, or a condo or an apartment, there may be different ordinances in place, and you may have to ask permission to even try to grow something outside. Or you could have a situation like I do where the soil outside is really not good to be growing anything that you want to eat. And I know that because university students came in. We have a Master Gardener program at the university, and they came in and tested the soil, and they said that you can grow things and look at it, but it's not safe to eat. It would be hazardous. So not trying to eat anything that's going to be hazardous to my health out there. There's a lot of places where things were dumped and people have bought that land or that property and threw a layer of soil over top of it and built some buildings, and everything looks pretty, but there's a history to that place, and sometimes things are just not very healthy for you in that way. So I do my gardening indoors here in my dining room. I do some pot gardening, pot or buckets, mostly buckets, bucket gardening, because I am the root vegetable lady. I do enjoy my root vegetables, and so I'll grow my beets in a bucket. It's not hard. I can grow my carrots in a bucket. Other things like different garden salad greens and cherry tomatoes, basil, oregano, thyme, things like that. I can grow in the hydroponic uh, garden system. And yes, I have the lights over each level of things so that things are getting adequate sunlight, because of course being indoors you can't guarantee that you're going to get adequate sunlight. Even if I have my stuff by the window, I can't always guarantee it, because the nature of there being trees outside, and the sun is would be rising over the building across the street. I'd get a limited amount of sunlight, and then the sun has moved on somewhere else. So, for me to get the amount of sun that I would like for my plants to have and for them to grow healthily, I do the hydroponic system, and I have the veg box system. So, um, I will put some information in the description section on that in case anyone is interested in it. I know a lot of people like those other hydroponic systems where you can buy and get the pods, and you just put the pod in, it already has seed, they don't have to do anything. That's great, but for someone like me, sometimes money is funny and I can't afford that kind of stuff. And I want to eat what I want to eat, and I don't want to have to look and say, can I afford to get this today, because that's what I really want. So I get my seeds, and I can put one seed in each pod spot, and it goes a lot further for me. Okay, moving on. Going to the Dollar Tree, I can get coffee. And I know this may not be like your name brand, high end, whatever, but when things hit the fan, and you are, if you're really a coffee drinker, you're going to want to be able to have some coffee to drink, at least a cup a day. So I get this because it's a medium roast. They have French vanilla or just the regular plain coffee. It's roasted and ground, $1.25 at Dollar Tree now. And yes, those seeds at Dollar Tree are 4 packs for $1. But so I'll try to get 2 or 3 packages of this whenever I'm able, when I'm there. And even if I weren't gonna drink it right now, I can drink other stuff right now and know that I have a backup on the cheap. Next, I do like having freeze dried food products. Emergency essentials, Mountain House. Back when I started getting these products, the price was much, much lower. But now, because of the current food crisis, things have been going up quite a bit. I'm sorry, my radiator is making a lot of noise today. So, but freeze-dried sweet potatoes, yes, they taste good because they really are sweet potatoes. They're just freeze-dried. So, as long as the package isn't opened, it's good for 25 years. Let's see. This one is the breakfast skillet from Mountain House. Hash browns and scrambled eggs with pork sausage patty, peppers and onions. This package is good until April of 2049. Yes, that is lovely. As I said, in the beginning, people weren't really thinking about all this, and they were able to get these products at a much lower price. But right now, the price is steadily going up. So you'd have to look online and see what's affordable or within your budget range, what you eat, what you would like to get. I mean, because these things are good, as they say, just in case. I mean, yeah, if you want to eat it every day, whatever, fine, that is fine. But if not, because of the coming shortages, the continued increasing shortages, um, it's good to just be able to have that just in case item. Next on my list, powdered milk. And this is a Nido container. I personally do like the flavor of Nido dried whole milk, but I had already used the milk out of this container. And because I like having the metal cans, which are difficult to get nowadays, when I finished it with it, I cleaned it out, let it dry completely, and then I used these containers to store packages of my dried beans. So this container gets double duty. I like that because I can take one of these containers, fill it completely with packages of lentils. I don't rip open the plastic or anything. I just put that joker right in there and put the lid on there. It stacks easily and neatly in the cupboard, so then you don't have to worry about stuff rolling out everywhere. And if you live somewhere where there might be a problem with ants or rodents of any kind, whether it be mice, um, squirrels, whatever, they're not getting through this. So, yes, that is something that is a real go to. Here's another example of that. This was a coffee can, but like I said, you can hardly find coffee cans that are metal like this now. Most of them are in plastic, unless you're getting like the instant coffee, and then it might be put in a plastic container or a glass container. But this one, I ripped the label off after I was done using it, washed it out good, let it dry. This one is full of lentils. I can just store them in there with the lid on the top. Like I said, they stack and store really easily. So that way they're out of the way. And then you can know by how many bags of the beans that you have, how many are fitting in that one can. And then you can keep a list, write it down, do your math. How long will that particular item last you? And get an idea of what you have so you can know about how long your food supplies will last. Because there are some things that never did come in off the harbor, and with the rising gas prices, there's some trucks that are having a hard time being able to get to deliver stuff that needs to be delivered. It makes life very challenging. Here's something else that I think is a good item to have: chia seeds. Most people think of chia seeds and they think of the head with you put the water on it and spread the seeds and it grows a big afro or whatever wacky hairstyle. You can do that with chia seeds. You can also take chia seeds and have a glass of water and sprinkle like a teaspoon of chia seeds in there and mix it up, and they will start to swell. You can drink it down, and it's nutritionally good for you, and it's it's a good healthy food in a different sort of a way. Um, Another thing that you can do with the chia seeds is you can take and put a little bit on some soil or on a paper towel that's covered in an egg cup and then squirt some water over it and give it time, and these things will sprout. And then you can have that to add to a salad or to eat as a nice little snack. And again, I'm sorry about my radiator. It's that time of the year and the weather's weird and things keep turning on and off. So, got to get that checked out. Now, this last thing that I'm sharing, it's a candy container from a store that where they sell the individual pieces of the candy for a nickel a piece. Well, they've been throwing these containers out, and I said, well, it'd be nice. I mean, if you're gonna toss stuff out, I'd happily take that container. What do I do with this container? I'm not putting my beans and stuff in there, but what I'm putting in here is tea. Lots and lots of different kinds, different bags of tea. Have the tea in my little sandwich bags and have them all together in here. Put the lid on. This goes in the cupboard. It's a nice way to keep a variety of tea, especially if you're only going to get like a small set of this or a small bit of that, or if you get the cute little containers that have 4 or 5 different tea bags in it that you really want more and you want it to last for a while. This is just a good way to be able to have it and store it and put it up. Label each package that's in there, and you have what you need. Thank you for taking some time with me today, and I hope that you are preparing in whatever the best way that you are able to. Always remember to try to pay down your bills as much as you can to make things easier on yourself. I know sometimes it's just a big sigh of relief to be able to say, okay, I got some extra money. I want to go shopping. Well, yeah, going shopping sounds good, but try not to increase debt on yourself. Just offering a word of advice. And remember to rotate your canned goods. If you have regular small cans, we know that those have a maximum shelf life of 5 years. Um, where, like I said, these other ones, these emergency type supplies, freeze dried products, if the can is not open, they can have a 25-year shelf life, which is awesome. So take care. Always remember to prepare and treat yourself good. Don't cheat yourself. We are better together. So let's take it and be on the team of preparedness.